All members of the military were doing what they always do, sacrificing their time and energy to be ready to stay vigilant and operational. But then came COVID-19, a pandemic we never expected, and it changed a lot. First challenge, how to stay connected with our soldiers. What's our ministry of presence during a long period of isolation? During the first real lockdown, started on March 18, we couldn't go to our soldiers. We couldn't go to our units, nor to the academy. We had to find ways to stay close to them. That's not easy in a physical way, but quite a challenge in a spiritual way. During that first period of lockdown, our presence was limited due to governmental restrictions to email traffic, phone calls, or working on our Facebook page. Teleworking, as we say, became a new world. A proactive presence became more useful and important. A phone call, a message to our military superiors, to the sick, to those who had to give up a loved one, to the lonely, to the hurt. We also pray for our soldiers and families entrusted to us. This presence may not be visible, but it is essential. Especially in crucial moments, soldiers ask us to think about them and their families. Actually, they ask to pray for them, but they express it in another way, not always finding the right words. Existential questions emerge in times of crisis, and it's extremely painful for all of us that we are forced to deny sacraments for a longer period. So it will remain a challenge to attempt to minister, to remain connection with our soldiers and their families, with a special attention also for all our troops on mission. Normally I was planned to go on mission during the month of April and to celebrate Easter together with them. But at that moment all non-essential missions were cancelled. Taking into account all international commitments, planned missions will continue as usual. This means that I am currently serving as a chaplain in Jordan. This message was recorded earlier. It will be a special mission with limited human contacts, special bubble experiences, not in the way that we drink bubbles, but the smaller groups, with a lot of testing and a special Christmas, a very special Christmas this year. At the end of October 2020, we had to deal with a second wave. Again, we had and still have to cope with restrictions. Normally, in the beginning of November, a special period of commemorations would start. Because it's important, not to use the word essential, to pray for those who defended our country and died in service of peace, wherever it may be in the world. We held a memorial liturgy for our dead in our cathedral of the Diocese of the Armed Forces, St. James on Koudenberg in Brussels. We invest more time and attention in the development of our website and are present on numerous social media. A major concern we share is a more ethical issue. In this pandemic, as a society, we face a major challenge to find the right balance in choosing a good recovery plan for the affected economy, while at the same time good choices will have to be made in caring for people's lives and well-being. This is also of great concern for us as chaplains. We note that there is a threat of great loneliness and vulnerability, grief and anxiety among our soldiers, but also among civilians, which could also lead to domestic violence, depression or suicide. The clock is ticking for a long period now, and there's probably more to come. We as chaplains continue to help people wherever they go and remind everyone that they are not alone in whatever challenges they may be facing. More than ever before, our proactive attitude can make a difference. We have to use all our senses in a good way to measure the temperature of our troops. Prevention, taking care of our men and women, is better than to cure them afterwards. Our proximity to military personnel and their families may complement many services already in place. Specifically in our country, in Belgium, it will be a major challenge to allow our service to survive fully in an increasingly hostile, if not to say non-religious climate. Different integrated services with different denominations are working towards an atmosphere of tolerance and trust. But Catholic chaplains are increasingly feeling that their language is not understood or does not want to be understood. They feel this tendency as if they have to act more and more as a social worker. Another challenge, people getting used to this situation, especially in a period with almost no sacramental praxis. Our online presence will never be the same as our presence in real life. But even then, our main asset will be our presence. Our military chaplaincy, as a part of the Catholic Church, is not closed. Our ministry continued during this COVID-19 period, and it will continue. While most people are not called to live as monks, I would argue that we are still called to a spiritual life of seeking God in solitude. So while COVID-19 has come with challenges, it has also opened opportunities to realize what is really important in the life of a person, what is really important in the life of a military chaplain. God is there. He walks with us all the time. I know sometimes it's hard to feel that way when we are going through all this. But God is there and does understand what we are going through. And that's a message that we should bring. We are beacons of hope. We're going to get through this. There is hope. He's with us. And He is our hope. He will carry us all the way through. Therefore, we can help in serving as a military chaplain. Not in doing a lot of things, but in being there. That's essential.